Hi, I'm Alex Seguin, CEO, co-founder of AI/ML Technology Solutions. I have a background in strategic marketing and I've launched 15 products throughout my career.
My name is Bart Mooyman-Beck. I'm the CTO and co-founder for De-Risking Strategies. Over the years, teams led by me have developed over 60 products ranging from spacecraft to industrial imagers.
After only 3 months, we launched our MVP designed to bring hands-on AI training to students of all ages. Currently at only $10,000 per month, we are growing through partnerships such as the one with the Coral product team from Google. Additionally, we are growing through distributors and resellers.
Our goal is to facilitate early student access to AI and ML by providing them with our introductory kit and our mentorship.
We look forward to working with you to further build our capabilities and to establish additional AI and sensor fusion applications for the market. Thank you for this opportunity and have a great day.
Integrated machine learning is the next frontier of technology, but it's missing adequate exposure for the next generation of developers.
The way education works right now, it's extremely low bandwidth, it's extremely slow. Try to learn as much as possible that allows you to predict the future or make the future.
We started the R.E.A.L AI initiative to remove barriers between students, developers, and industry experts. Our goal is to make AI technology accessible for those new to machine learning and provide easy-to-use tools to simplify the deep learning and computer vision workflow. Our first version of the R.E.A.L AI Dev Kit streamlines the machine learning development workflow into easy-to-learn steps. Capture images, add annotations, upload images, develop models, download ML models, and run live. Our Sensor Fusion UI provides an easy way to switch between machine learning models with a single click. We designed the R.E.A.L AI Kit as a foundation for continued sensor development. We are planning future integrations with robotic kits and other educational applications. For example, users can make custom models to track their favorite robot, such as the Sphero Bolt. The modularity of the kit also opens up potential to integrate future sensors, such as LiDAR. One can also explore both thermal and visual cameras combined with machine learning models for interesting applications such as security. For more complex setups using dual sensors, we recommend using 2 machine learning models and multiple Coral USB modules. As demonstrated, there are significant opportunities in AI and computer vision technology, starting with improving machine learning accessibility for students and learners of all ages. We are seeking both early adopters and pilot programs, as well as industry partners who would like to join our mission. Please help empower the developers of tomorrow, improve technology accessibility, and accelerate the pace of AI/ML innovation. Thanks for joining as we explore different career fields and explain more about how the businesses work in the real world. I'll be answering questions throughout this presentation, starting with all industry types of questions: marketing and sales, accounting, engineering, business management, and entrepreneurship. If you look at machine vision, which is a subset of machine learning towards visual applications, there's already a lot of factory automation stuff going on. It's about a $1.1 billion market. And what that means is there's about $1.1 billion of sales of products or services that are in the automation space. If you look at robotics vehicles, the estimate right now in 2018 was about 42 million. This is a R.E.A.L report, just so I can give them credit where credit's due. But that orange dot is projected to be nearly $700 million, which means year over year, a compound annual growth rate is 75%. So one of the fastest growing sectors to be in right now. Now robots, very complicated because you have all these imaging sensors on the right, upper right, and you're getting into larger pixels, more memory, faster computer capabilities. And this whole capability is just growing at an immense speed. And then you add in autonomous vehicles. There's this idea that we can get to full automation where your mind is off the steering wheel by 2035. As part of this presentation, we'll discuss how businesses think through the various functions and drive decisions from bottom up all the way into leadership teams and through the executive management team. On the bottom, you'll see operating teams, starting with corporate management, finance and legal, product management, project management, R&D development such as AI and ML or machine learning, software and hardware R&D. Then we go into commercial functions such as digital marketing, lead generation, sales, manufacturing operations, and support and service. All these functions are required to drive business success because they are all required to launch not only new products, but maintain the existing portfolio of products. For this next session, I want to focus on other areas such as accounting and financial services and how that plays a role in understanding business management. What's the best way I can separate myself from other students studying finance and eventually the other employees in the field? This is all about how do you separate yourself and understand where you sit versus your own competition, which are the people around you. So understanding the basics of Excel spreadsheets, various systems such as Tableau and visual management tools to understand the business reporting are first steps. I have a business and analytics background, which helps you understand, how to look at the data, understand stuff like revenue, margins, and other data to help you make better, smarter financial decisions. To separate yourself, you can also understand how the businesses think about their product lines. Understand things like product lifecycle, what products are declining over time, and what new products should be launched to replace those old products. For those who are aware of artificial intelligence, machine learning models, the basic example that's always taught in academia is this 28 by 28 grid of kind of the hello world of machine learning. And it teaches the basics of neural networks. What's really exciting though is that right picture, which is actually showcased in one of the posts by Steve Norrie on LinkedIn. And the example really is of live pictures without any kind of Wi-Fi, so edge computing, where you can identify the model of the car, the color, even the license plate. So there's real-time number recognition going on. As you can imagine, this is probably used in some applications such as like border crossing, as well as maybe even just, the toll tags and toll roads here in Texas, as well as California. What's changed since 5 years ago? There have been significant advances in the AI ML hardware, but basically there's off-the-shelf software and hardware and many advances, even Python, TensorFlow Lite from Google, that significantly makes it easier for the average person to do their model. So we're at a point now where we feel that there's not any technical expertise required to do something cool like identify an image or a video to detect, for instance, Alex Seguin in my case.
Why are we launching? When we first started, Alex and I were looking at this problem. And, traditional college education, it takes 6 years to, before you get exposed to A.L. and M.L. In their curriculum. So basically master's degree level. And that comes at a significant cost. It's not inexpensive to go to school. And so by the time you've been there for that long, you're spending close to, $90,000 or more to just get access to this new technology. And we know that at secondary education, high school level or, middle school, high school level, there's like very little, exposure. And we said, well, there's no reason why we can't enable our students at the middle school and secondary education levels with, to get involved in AI and ML. So we provide a hands-on AI ML experience through this learning in this kit. So over to the right-hand side of the foil, you can see some, examples of what, our kit can do. Whether it's object recognition or personal recognition. We have a sensor fusion where we have the lower left or lower right, excuse me, there's a thermal camera involved in a security application, but we can mount that as well with sensor fusion where we do both visible and thermal at the same time, so we can increase the accuracy of our detection. But that's really why we're doing it. We want to get this capability down into the high school levels.
Bart just discussed why are we launching. We'll discuss some items around business management and engineering for the next Q&A session, focusing on the example prior to this slide. What do I need to become an engineer? Really, at the end of the day, you have to be very dedicated to continuously learn, apply principles such as programming or other efforts in mechanical engineering or electrical engineering, and really just be curious. If you have a curious mind and you're willing to solve tough, challenging problems, you'll be successful as an engineer. What steps should I take straight out of high school to pursue an engineering degree? At this stage, it's really looking at various career fields. Go on LinkedIn, look at entry-level jobs right out of college, and see what's available out there. Pushkar is actually going to run you through a live demo.
The first demo I want to show is a Google, a pre-trained model, which can detect like 90 common objects.
And so Pushkar has a webcam at his desk. This is live streaming, and you'll see a person recognition. I think it has a chair on the left side, as well as even at the keyboard sometimes will come up. But this is out of the box, ready to go. And we'll explain kind of how the process works later on. But Google spent some time on annotating a whole bunch of images that they provide available for the public. Many of you will know the iNat or iNatural programs for insect detection, plant detection, as well as bird detection, but there's something like 1,000 to 2,000 of each of those categories labeled. Probably heard of those, and for those who are aware of AI machine learning. Also important here is this is inferencing or making a guess at what's on the screen at 20 frames a second. So that's pretty uncommon, but basically this device here in white, it enables you to, it's a Coral accelerator by Google, and it turns your Raspberry Pi into a PC-enabled device that does about 5 frames a second, and you get 20, so 4 times the speed.
So the next demo is for the check ID model, which actually detects who the person is. So for this model, we have actually trained 4 of our team members, me, Dara, Alex, and Nick. And the model which I'm going to show you can detect 4 persons.
In this case, it's a little faster, 25, just because there's 4 objects that are being recognized in that model. So really important here is that we develop this model will help teach you and guide you through the process. So whether you want to do Santa Claus, a Christmas tree, your cat's at home, your parents, or even just for those who want the hands-on experience or post-college, we're here to help you out.
So the next is the pose estimation model, which actually detects the coordinates of different parts of the body, like elbow, shoulder, position of eyes, and all those things.
Pushkar's work is a perfect example of how AI engineering links up to the software and hardware R&D teams. By working with product management, all 3 teams are generating a minimum viable product that is determined to be successful in the marketplace. Next steps are to work with marketing teams to not only develop digital marketing strategy campaigns, but also to generate leads, which we can hand off to sales to go further generate awareness for our product line. Once a product is ready to go to market, we work with marketing and sales to determine the strategy. I'm going to answer a few questions as highlighted on this slide. What is the first step to become a sales representative? What kind of lifestyle will it be? What is the pay rate, etc.? Sales is a unique role in which you have to have a little bit of business acumen, but the more you can understand the product, whether it be technical or something more commercially available in another field, you basically have to sell the value of the product and understand where it sits relative to competition. What kind of lifestyle will it be for you? There are different kinds of sales roles, including inside sales and traveling sales roles. In both cases, you're talking to customers, you're looking at the potential opportunity, you're determining if it's going to take 3 to 4 weeks to close the customer, and you're selling the value and picking a product that's right to fit their needs. Pay rate can vary. In most sales roles, you do have a sales incentive plan, what is known as a SIP. And what you do is you have a base salary, and then based off your sales incentive plan, you can get anywhere from 10 to maybe 30% extra pay based off your sales for that quarter or that year. What college courses should you take? A basic degree in marketing or business should suffice. That said, if you do have a technical background, you're selling technical products, that's always best so you can stand up to those customers, answer some technical questions. In most sales roles, you're basically a front-facing role to the customer, and you'll bring in functions as needed to discuss and answer more technical questions. So you don't have to be an expert, but it does help. There's a few questions I want to answer around business management as well. What do you recommend for someone who wants to travel around the world? What schools in Texas are best to go into business management? For someone who wants to travel, definitely explore different avenues for travel. Not only can you travel on your own, but consider companies that have international programs or international locations. One thing to consider is to learn another language. When I was working in a German chemical company, for instance, I picked up German and I was able to go to Germany about once a quarter for about a year. Also take opportunities to learn things like Mandarin. You never know when you're going to go to Taiwan, China. I had the opportunity to go to Taiwan, Taipei, Mooyman-Beck, and then also Beijing and other places in China. So take the opportunity to get to know the language and then put yourself in a position where if there is the opportunity, you'll be the first on the list to be considered. What school in Texas are best to go for business management? There's a lot of good schools. Most follow similar curriculum, such as Harvard case study type of methodology. At the end of the day, it really depends on what fields you want to go into. There's University of Texas, Texas A&M, Texas State, a lot of schools throughout the whole Texas ecosystem that are good. One other thing you might consider is considering a school in another area which has a strength in technology, such as California, Berkeley, Stanford, some of the West Coast schools similar in the Silicon Valley area, which have strong ties to machine learning, artificial intelligence, if you want to go that route. If you want to go into biotech, for instance, you might want to end up in Boston. Boston has a very good, strong pharma presence, a lot of R&D in the space, and there's a lot of different areas and around the US that offer opportunities that are unique to the field you might want to go into. Next, I'd like to cover entrepreneurship. What steps did you take to start your own business? Is it possible to start your own business and also go to college full time? All good questions. I'll start with a few from lessons I learned myself. All right, what steps did you take to start your own business? For myself, I actually pursued gaining exposure to an array of different industries in order to build the business acumen at bigger companies. So I was fortunate to travel into a role that forced me into Houston, but then I had the opportunity to move into New Jersey area, and I got to learn how to manage global business, how to go through an acquisition, work under very high-powered global businesses. Now, in that case, definitely be open for travel to different locations and different experiences. So I've been fortunate to live in Chicago for about 5 years, Seattle for 2, and then even Santa Barbara, California. And what you want to do is think about what exposure, what experiences do you want to accrue so that when you do open up your business one day, you have that experience to interact with not only different functions firsthand from your personal experiences, but you also have to understand where you don't have certain business acumen. Is it possible to start your own business while also going to college full time? It is possible to start your own business. You might want to start small and have something that you think will take off and test the marketplace with multiple experiments on a product line, get the customer feedback early and often, and start there. Now, in most businesses, in order to make things take off, unless it's completely revolutionary, you will encounter competition. And those who have the finances initially to get the business off the ground, at least to get to a certain level, will attract investors and they can go faster than others. So it's all about how much energy and effort do you spend to seed that business. Are you eligible for funding from angel investors as well as venture capitals? And can you do it yourself, or do you have to get the funding or take out a loan to fund the business? Thanks for joining. We look forward to bringing a platform to market which offers technology leadership and combines AI and machine learning capabilities for robotics and other applications. Thanks for helping us create a future with sensor fusion and AI capabilities. Thank you, and have a great day.